Can anybody say body count? Okay, everybody, we're going to be taking a look at John Wick 3 today, just doing a quick review of it. Joining me today is my son, Kyle. Say hi, Kyle.
Howdy.
So it's going to be a twofer this time, instead of me just sitting there by myself. Now, as you all know, this is the third installment of the John Wick series. It's basically the same crew, the same cast, the same kind of everything back again. Okay, this movie is directed by Chad Stahelski. He's only directed 3 motion pictures in his life, and it's the John Wick series. He was a stuntman before this and a former kickboxer or whatever, and that's what wound up getting him the gig directing these John Wick flicks. Now, he's also right now working on the reboot of Highlander.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. That's bullshit myself. I can't even believe that they're doing it. But anyway, Kai, did you like John Wick 3, yes or no?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good flick. I had my problems with it, but not to cut you off.
No, go ahead. I liked it too. I do think that, I know they're making a 4th, and that should definitely be the end of the road of the John Wick franchise, though, because there's only so many times you can repeat the same motion picture.
I'm going to be honest with you. Given the plot, I kind of like to live in a world where John Wick 1 was the John Wick movie, and the other ones are just fun little spin-offs, because the plot has just gotten... It's just gotten bad.
It's gotten pretty ridiculous at this point. It's so... The first one, although it was... Let's face it, it's unbelievable, like any action motion picture is. But at least you felt like it was taking place in the same universe in which you lived. The new John Wick movie feels like, or the last 2, is almost borderline ridiculous.
It's gotten to... It started out a ridiculously over-the-top action flick, and now it just feels like a comic book movie. It feels like you're watching The Punisher or something. It's gotten off the beaten path of what the first one was.
Everybody on the planet is a fucking hitman at this point.
Everybody's an assassin, or everybody knows there's assassins because no one reacts to the assassinations going around them at all times throughout this film.
Yeah. I'm going to give... I think we should give our pluses, and then we'll give our minuses. Okay. My pluses are... The fight scenes were incredible. The shootout scenes were incredible, as always. The directing was solid. And everybody did their parts well. What do you have as a plus?
All of that, pretty much. It's just, if you're looking for ridiculous over-the-top action, this is one of the best. It's got, I mean, the direction, like you said, it was good. Everything was solid about it. The action was ridiculously over the top, but it was fun. It almost borderlined on gore porn for a while there. It was just...
Yeah, that's true.
They went, whatever was over the top in the first one, like, quadruple it. It was ridiculous. But it was fun. And it got a lot of oohs and ahs out of the crowd, which is nice to see somebody actually interact with the screen again, an audience, because going to see the last few Star Wars movies, nobody does that anymore. Yeah, it was actually, it was really good action, really good direction. All the acting in it was spot on, a bunch of professionals. It was really well done, really well made, and you got a really deep appreciation for how much work everybody, you could tell, had to put in the training, and just getting to that level to make it look so good.
Right, you gotta get that.
Yeah, I mean months and months and months.
Yeah,
I mean,
Keanu's
been doing it since The Matrix, basically.
Yeah.
He's had to go through that shit before.
And you can find video of him and Hallie and everybody on YouTube. Yeah, Keanu's been doing the gun training for years. I mean, he's like really good at this point. Not even for an actor. I mean, he's good, just good.
I wouldn't fuck with Keanu Reeves anymore.
And Hallie stepped up to the plate, and everybody did their job. So you got to put in the nod for the amount of hard work that went into this. Okay, minuses. Who wants to go first?
I'll just say it. The plot, just the entire plot. It's if you liked the first one because it's tried to stay a little gritty and dirty and original. You're good. This one is just. It almost feels like Machete in space or something. It's just. It's more like a Machete movie. It is. It's ridiculous. It's not. It's fun. I wouldn't even know if I'd call it a bad plot. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
It's gotten to the point now where the first movie you felt like you were grounded a little bit in reality, even if you knew it was an action movie that was over the top and goofy and could never really take place. But the second one really started going to the point where it was like, okay, everybody in the planet is a hitman. Everybody knows a hitman. Nobody cares that everybody's a hitman. The police just never show up anywhere in these motion pictures. I mean, there's gunfights in the streets, there's sword fights in the streets, there's all kinds of shit going on. You can't find a cop edgewise. And this one took it to a level where it's like, I think there's more hitmen in the world than there are normal people in the world.
Yeah, and that's the big problem to me. Like, the first movie, you knew there were a shit ton of hitmen. Mm-hmm. You knew you had this ridiculous, hey, there's a hotel that's sacred ground and everybody's in there and there's a underground society. But it was done in a tactful enough way where it just kind of worked. Mm-hmm. And then by the second one, it was like, oh, they're really laying this on. Really, like, there's one too many assassins now. And then in this movie, people are just getting butchered in the streets. No one even looks. Very early on in the movie, there's a fight scene in a library. A library where people
nobody notices it.
There are people in the background reading books, and on this computer, like, nothing is going on. He's fighting like a 7-foot-tall guy in a library.
Yeah.
Brutally murdering people. Like, it's just ridiculous. Nobody bats an eye. And, like, I remember in the first one, if memory serves, he's going through the nightclub. People are freaking out.
Right.
Because, they're having a gunfight in a nightclub. But in this one, the public has just... They just don't even notice that people are being butchered. I mean, they're having fights in subway stations. Nobody says a word.
Yeah, the ninja guys actually take out like 2 or 3 dudes in a subway, a crowded subway filled with people.
Yeah.
And nobody reacts to this. It's just like they kill them and take the bodies off, and nobody notices this, as though they're standing in the middle of the desert. It's like, what the fuck? It was ridiculous.
And that's really to me the big con of the entire film. It's just the whole thing has gotten ridiculous. It almost feels like a parody of the old John Wick movie. Mm-hmm. At one point, John Wick, and there's like this. Literally, there's ninjas in the movie. I mean, there's guys with swords, like 2 or 3 of them going through and just decimating men with assault rifles. It's just ridiculous. I mean, they're doing shit that you would see out of the movie Ninja Assassin. It is completely over the top. But there's this one scene where John Wick and the head ninja guy are like squaring off. And they're literally doing this walking against the wind bullshit where they're just disappearing into crowds.
Yeah.
And they're literally like basically they're implying they're almost turning invisible. Yeah. I mean, they're not, but it looks that way. And the way they edited it, it's kind of ridiculous.
And all that being said, it sounds like we're slagging this movie right now, and we're not, because it gives you what you want. Like Kyle used the term earlier. It seems just basically going into gore porn. And that's what it is. The fight scenes are so brutal and so gory and so, I mean, he's ripping jaws off and you see the knives going into the eyes, and it's meant to literally, all you hear is the audience go, oh!
Yeah.
And you just wait for the next moment to go, because you don't really care about the plot no more.
No,
you're just watching the fights and the shootings.
It felt like somebody in the writing room, it almost felt like they said, we're going to make a collection of moments that are going to one-up everyone is going to one-up the last. Mm-hmm. Make a plot around that. And it kind of felt like that. There are certain parts of the plot where literally he needs to find somebody and he gets told, go wander the desert till you're almost dead, and then look at the sky, and then keep walking. I swear to God, at that moment when they said look at the sky, I'm like, we're going to fucking space, because it's at that level of ridiculousness. There's some plot holes. Minor, but there's some minor plot holes. Like, even when he goes to the library, he's going to collect his secret stash of stuff out of a book that he puts on the shelf, but he doesn't really know where the book is. He has to ask the librarian where to find the book, where he stashed his most valuable shit. It's a little bit, there's some things that I had gripes with, but at this junction and with this film, you kind of almost have to put the plot very much in the back burner.
Yeah, you can't care about the plot that much. You just got to roll with it. And there was so many parts of the movie where there's homages to other movies. There's lines out of The Matrix in it.
Yeah.
There's blatantly lines right out of The Matrix.
There's lines, and there's the gimmick where when the point they're shooting at each other, they have guns at each other, and they both run out of ammo. And it was literally, you just see Agent Smith and Neo sitting there doing the same, it's the exact same shot.
And then there's one line where he goes, I'm going to need guns. Lots of guns. I'm like, what the fuck? That's right. I mean,
yeah.
And the Robert Patrick finger wave from Terminator 2 that Mark Dacascos uses when he's standing behind the glass and the shit's hitting there. And by the way, Mark Dacascos in this movie is one of the highlights of this movie.
Absolutely.
He is funny as all live in hell. He was the right comedic element for it. I was pissed what they wound up doing with his character in the end, because he was one of the things I really liked. I mean, obviously, other than Keanu Reeves and the dogs, it was really Mark Dacascos that was making it. I thought he was great,
because he kind of takes over that Ruby Rose role that she had in the second one, where he's like basically his head rival that you know he's going to have to square off with at some point.
Right.
But he is just, whereas Ruby Rose was just this silent partner. It felt like they had her on set for 4 days. They were just like, yeah, have her do some shit and then get over. This guy, I mean, he's a major part of the movie. He's very important, and his actual character is developed and really well done. Because the plot is so ridiculous, his comedy works really well.
It does, still.
If you put him in John Wick 1, he would be the worst character you've ever seen.
Right, it wouldn't work.
But in this movie, he works flawlessly. Absolutely flawlessly. There's a scene where you kind of like, he starts talking more and you kind of get what he is, and it just clicks, and it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, he's in the Continental. When he's in the Continental with Keanu Reeves, and he's a stone killer. And I'm not going to get into everything he says, but when he just turns around and goes like that, from that point on, you're fucking in tears laughing, and you're like, this is the audience loved it.
Yeah,
everybody loved it. It was like the right touch, and I hope they find a way to bring his character back, because I loved him in this movie. I don't know how they would do it. It seemed pretty definite he won't be back.
Well, don't put that in, because then people are pissed. But I would, like you had said when we left the theater, I would not mind at all seeing a John Wick and him buddy movie.
I wouldn't mind seeing them as a team.
That's what
I thought that's what was going to happen.
I would have loved.
I thought they were going to team up.
If they were going to have a him and John Wick movie together, just like a complete stupid spin-off, like they're doing that Fast and Furious thing.
Because they were like Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
John Wick's always serious and angry, and fucking Dacascos was funny as hell. And you're like, fuck, that's a movie. Yeah. It's a whole fucking separate movie, just right there.
Literally, I mean, just the guy was fucking hilarious in this movie. Just the way he would like taunt John Wick, but in like a respectful way. It was just awesome. His whole character was great.
Yeah.
I mean, I absolutely, probably my highlight of the film was his performance and the actual character he had.
Halle Berry did a really good job in this motion picture too, being that she had to like John Wick up. And
I thought she did. I thought she did pretty great.
And all that kind of stuff. So she did a really good job. Got to give her credit. You know, she pulled it off. She looked good in the role. All that kind of stuff.
No, she fit. I don't want to get into the plot too heavy, but the one problem I had was that it kind of gets implied that John Wick helped her hide her daughter out of the assassin's life. And yet, when you walk into her room, she's like, oh, I gotta hide my daughter so that she doesn't get dragged in life. First thing that you see when she walks into her area is just pictures of her daughter hanging up everywhere. It's like, if you're trying to hide your kid, what the fuck's going on here?
You just told every fucker in there that you got a daughter. Here's her fucking photograph, and she's out there somewhere. It made no sense. She's like, nobody can know I had a daughter, and you smuggled her out. It's like, there's fucking pictures of her everywhere. It looked like Liberace's piano with fucking photographs and shit. You're just like, what are they doing? And I felt bad for Halle Berry only for one reason, and it's because the dogs. The dogs stole her whole fucking scene. The dogs stole it.
Halle Berry's doing this incredible action work where you know she was just training and training and training. But you didn't pay much attention because she's got these two they were German Shepherds. Correct?
Oh yeah, they were German Shepherds.
Two badass German Shepherds. She literally says a word. These things are just taking out half the dudes they're fighting. It was incredible to watch.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was.
I think some of it was even CGI.
Oh no, I'm sure it was.
I mean, some of those dogs wasn't actual dogs, but the way they did it was so good that you're watching the dogs. You're like, I don't even care who John's killing.
No,
I don't care who she's killing. I'm just waiting to see these fucking dogs take out next. And they were just dropping people left and right. And I thought that was like the best part of that scene.
Yeah, I thought it was by far the most entertaining, especially because now that we're on the third movie.
Yeah.
You've seen John Wick shoot somebody in the chest and then the head, and then he leaves. You see dogs, it's like they're trying to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Which was nice, you know, because it does feel like in some of the action sequences, they are kind of
ridiculous.
They're getting ridiculous, and they're getting a little repetitive with the whole, oh, I'm going to knock you out, and then I'm going to reload over your body, and then I'm going to shoot you before you wake up. I mean, there were certain times, action again was greatly choreographed, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But there are a few moments where it's like they're in this intense fist fight for like 2 minutes, just going back and forth, and then they get one shot on them, and they're just laying there, like reeling, like they're waiting for a fatality out of Mortal Kombat. And then they get to reload and do the full thing.
And there was parts too where they redid a gag that was great the first time and didn't work. I'm going to say it's horse kick.
Yeah, I thought
like
the
first
thing.
time it was cool, and then the second time you're like,
yeah. it's like the first time I was like, oh, this is cool, and then the second time he was like, he just lined him up for the second.
It kind of ruined it. And then there's parts of it too where they got so far gone where it was like Keanu on the horse doing the old Western, fucking side saddle hanging off the horse, shooting things. Like nobody's hurting the fucking horse as they're gunning at him, but he's killing people. And in the ninja sword fight on fucking katana motorcycles. What the fuck was even taking place in that? It was like ridiculous.
That was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was like,
especially because they're going down a bridge. You're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna take a Yui now so we can keep fighting on the fucking bridge.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous.
I mean, I love the John Wick flicks, but it almost feels like they're just like, we need to get as many of these things out as humanly possible, as quick as we can, and the script writing shows.
Right.
Especially when he gets to the desert sequence and he's like looking for the high one above the table, and it's just like, the main guy hangs out in the middle of the fucking desert for no reason. The guy who calls all the shots is completely disconnected.
No computers.
Nothing.
No way of reaching mankind. He just lives in the fucking middle of the desert. And all that was going through my head was fucking Beyond Thunderdome. Because with Mel Gibson, when he's roaming around the fucking desert and he just fucking drops. And I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, we know Keanu's going to fall down. And when he's just about to die, there's going to be somebody who comes out there. And all that went through my head was, they better at least be in a helicopter or some kind of vehicle to grab them. But when they showed up on a fucking camel, I'm like, fuck me. Yeah, it's just what the fucking taking place.
He goes back, and the worst part is that they're in the middle of the fucking desert, literally cut off from anything.
Anything.
And they have a suit perfectly his fucking size.
Yeah.
Just ready for it.
Yeah.
It's the most ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. But it was. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. But it got to the point where it's like, is this an opium trip? I have no idea what's going on in this film anymore.
Was nuts. Anyway, we better wrap this up because we've been rolling for a long time. I gotta say, I liked it. It delivered on what it was supposed to deliver. Fights, gunfights, crazy shit. But I pray for the fourth one that they try to bring it back to some kind of version of a gritty reality. Kind of like they did, like, you get First Blood and then that last Rambo movie. And then the two in the middle were fucking ridiculous, but the first one and the last one, you're kind of like, okay, I can kind of roll with this.
Or Rocky 1 to Rocky 6.
Right, that kind of shit. Where
Take a Stallone franchise.
Right. So I'm hoping they do that with John Wick, and they slow it down, get a little bit more back into the characters about what's going on between him and Winston and everything like that, and just take out 1/3 of the fight scenes, put in a little bit more character, and bring it back to this world. Instead of feeling like you're in the fucking Matrix computer program where they're like, boot up everybody's assassin and Neo, go. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it feels like. Yeah. Now it's just gotten fucking crazy.
Again, I did like the movie overall. It was fun. I felt like I got my money's worth out of it. Mm. It was, I walked into it kind of expecting this after the second one.
Yeah.
Got kind of what I expected. I was like, this is stupid, but it's enjoyable.
Right.
It's a turn your brain off, have a good time, grab a popcorn type flick.
Right.
If you go into this one ready for that, you're going to love it.
Right.
If you're looking for deeper characterization or figuring some things out, look elsewhere. No. Rewatch the first one. Act like it never happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
And just be forewarned that the fourth movie is probably going to be so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, is what it is.
Because this one was ridiculous.
I mean,
you like it.
Yeah. No, I just didn't know how much farther they could go after 2 because they went pretty fucking far.
You know what this was?
They went farther.
Do you know what this was? This was like Rocky 4. You're like, this is improbable. It's stupid. There's a robot talking to Paulie. There's fucking, all it is fight training montages and fucking, and working out. And fucking, that's all it is. And in the middle, they dropped Adrian a couple times, and a couple people, and there you go. Here's your movie. That's what this was.
Yeah, literally
of the fucking franchise. It was just like,
it was pretty much, John, why do you actually want to live? Because I want to live for things, and that is the entire plot.
Yeah, I want to live so I can remember. It doesn't matter what wrong I have to do or who I have to turn on. It doesn't mean shit. I just got, and you're like,
I mean, I thought that was cool and all, but to an extent. But it would just, if they would have maybe flushed it out. And there was one scene where they're going over that, and he's talking to somebody about it, and I'm like, this seems pretty obvious to me what's going on, but that's not.
And how the fuck am I going to watch a John Wick movie when he looks like this? That's going to bother me from now on. They better put a glove on him like Anakin
I'm not going to lie.
Luke, because I can't look at this for another motion picture.
When that happened, I was like, well, that's a little bit sharky and jumping it. Not jumping it. They just didn't need to fucking do it. I feel bad, honestly, more than anybody, for Keanu Reeves if they actually have to like put him in some device. I'm sure they just put a green fucking sleeve on his finger and that's about the end of it.
Yeah.
But
I was praying through the movie that he would kill another dude, take his finger, and go back to the dock and say, "Put that motherfucker on here," so I got his finger back. But I don't know. And he gave his fucking. Semi spoilers are going to be in this, so I'm going to fuck. But he gave his fucking ring.
Guaranteed he's going back for that shit.
He gave his fucking wedding ring to the fucking dude in the middle of the desert, and you're like, that's the whole reason you're fucking killing everybody, and you whatever. Anyway, go see it.
Guaranteed he's going to get that ring back, because I guarantee there's probably 8,000 boards of people complaining, where the fuck is John's ring off his fucking head?
That has to be something in part 4 that they're already planning.
Probably part fucking 8 by the time we
because
get there.
you already know what's coming. He's going to team up with Lawrence Fishburne. They're going to take on the fucking table. Fucking Winston's probably going to fucking join up with them, and it's going to be a fucking clusterfuck of whatever. Everybody on the planet's going to be a fucking. They're going to have to import fucking what are these people again? Hitmen from fucking from other planets. They're running out of people.
Yeah, that's one more thing I wanted to throw onto this was the body armor in this movie is the best body armor I have ever heard of in any film. I mean. People are getting shot. They look like the T-1000. The shit does not bother them at all.
Yeah. That shit kind of does exist, though.
No, it was just funny because it got to the point where, like, John Wick's suit, I mean, he's just absorbing fucking shots.
Yeah.
You're just seeing sparks fly. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it led to the most ridiculous shit.
And fucking, even the dogs are wearing body armor.
Dogs have body armor.
The dogs are wearing body armor, so they can't even be shot. It's like, whatever. But anyway... Go out, see John Wick. We really liked it. It was fun. It was enjoyable. It was just fucking dumb. So take it for what it is. Enjoy it. Have a good time. We'll be back again. Hopefully Kyle will be joining me for more of these things. But anyway, see you later. Bye.